Hello, Adam Stark alongside Eric Pedigo, Mark Graham, and Nick Corelli. And we appreciate you all listening. We'll be with you every Saturday from 8 until 9 right here on Sports Radio 1450 on your AM dial. Mark, let's run through the injuries again with tight end and kickers.
Okay, tight ends, you've got a couple. Dallas Clark, minor head trauma. That's never good. And a slightly torn MCL, but he's practiced all week.
Really bad.
I tell you what, minor head trauma, I don't care. It's not minor if it's my head. Clark, he practiced this week and should play Sunday. He's got great success against Houston, so he should have a good game.
Better play. I'm sick of him not playing.
I know. I'm telling you, it's been rough. L.J. Smith, who's had a back problem, has practiced fully all week and should be good to go Sunday. Kickers, we've got Lawrence Tynes, knee problem. He practiced some Wednesday, and the Giants think he'll be able to kick Sunday.
And did you have Nugent on there, too?
Nugent.
Good to go?
Yeah, he's a bye week, so I didn't really think anything about him, but thigh injury with Nugent.
That's not good up for a kicker. 529-1450 is the phone number. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101. Love Nugent.
Hey, how's it going, guys? This is the fella that you've been helping going 3-0. Last week, though, I actually lost.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Well, the only reason is I was at work, didn't get to Brian Westbrook in time to start roll Buckhalter.
Yeah,
there it is.
So that killed me. But this week, I'm trying to decide on Phillip Rivers or Donovan McNabb since Aaron Rodgers. I'm not even going to worry about that one there. And then as far as my wide receivers go, I have Lee Evans, Eddie Royal, Deshaun Jackson, and Greg Jennings. I'll hang up and listen to you guys. Just tell me who I should start. Thank you.
How many receivers do we need? 2?
What's that?
How many receivers do you need to start? 2?
Yeah, I can start 2 or 3, but the only problem is with my running backs, I have Julius Jones and Brian Westbrook, and those are the only 2 running backs I got. I can start 3 wide receivers, or I can start 3 running backs, or I can start 2 running backs.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you got to go with Jones on the running back side.
Right.
And he may not have that great of a game either, and then you want to help on your receivers and your quarterback position. I'd say play Phillip Rivers at Miami, but the Chargers don't have a whole lot of luck against the Dolphins as of late, especially in Miami. So that is a questionable call. But like we talked about, McNabb taking on Washington, a rivalry game, they're gonna bring it. I'd have to go Rivers for sure.
I like. I'm going to go the other way. I like McNabb. Washington has looked good the last couple of games, but they're still ranked pretty low in pass D. And McNabb he's capable of really lighting anyone up any week. Just depending on if they get going. And Rivers is coming off a pretty down week last week. And like you said, they struggle a little bit at Miami, so I would go McNabb.
Rivers, I think, is a good play most weeks, but I think with this week, I'd have to go with McNabb also.
And we do have another phone call, but quickly, what do you guys think about his wide receiver core?
He's got a good bunch to choose from. I think if he starts McNabb, then he'd be wise to start Deshaun Jackson. And then I also like Royal. I tell you what, either Royal... You've got to start the Denver wide receivers no matter who they are. I mean, it's just with the way Cutler's playing. But, yeah, Jackson and Royal.
They're all good choices. Lee Evans.
Well, and based on what you just said, too, about the Redskins secondary, Deshaun Jackson put them both in there. McNabb and Jackson, the hookup on Sunday. 529-1450, good morning. You're listening to Fantasy Football 101.
Hey, good morning.
Morning. What up?
I got a problem with I benched Winslow this weekend because he's on the bye, but I picked up Dallas Clark, and it just sounds like from your tight end injury analysis that he's likely to have a good game. So now I'm going to be in a dilemma who to get rid of next week. Do I keep Clark or do I keep Winslow?
Try to hold on to both of them. Dallas Clark is always an injury risk waiting to happen. So if you have a guy like Kellen Winslow backing him up, you're in pretty good shape. So if you can hold on to both of them, that's what I would do. If you have to get rid of one of them, I'd have to go with Winslow because Cleveland is so bad.
Do you hang on to, just a question, 2 kickers and 2 defenses by any chance?
I've got 2 defenses I'm holding on to. I'm holding on to Pittsburgh and Philadelphia.
Drop a defense and hang on to both tight ends. And don't worry about Clark this week. His history against Houston is absolutely dynamite. I mean, he's got I think about 30% of his touchdowns he scored has been against Houston. He's my sleeper pick this week. But yeah, if you hang on to both of them, drop a defense.
Okay, what defense would you get rid of? Pittsburgh's or Philadelphia's?
Pittsburgh's.
Yeah, I know, and right off the bat that sounds awful, but Pittsburgh is not as good as they've been in the last few years. They're still solid, but I think that'd be the defense I'd drop also.
Okay, all right. And the reason I guess I was holding on to Pittsburgh is when you look at their schedule, they're playing some pretty bad teams. So even though their defense might not be as good, they don't have to be because they're playing the Clevelands and the Cincinnatis of the world.
Well, and maybe you'll get lucky, though, too. Pittsburgh's on a bye next week. You'll have Philly taking on San Francisco. So, you know, maybe they'll still be out there.
All right.
Yeah, maybe you can just pick them up again.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, 529-1450 is the phone number. You're listening to Fantasy Football 101 on Sports Radio 1450. And want to bring up a couple of names that are out there, big names. Plaxico, suspended. Eric just traded for him.
You got to love those wide receivers. They're goofy bunches, aren't they?
A little bit risky, and I heard a little bit, never found the story, though, and I looked on the internet about it, but the league might be looking into suspending Plaxico a little bit longer. Does that worry you at all there, Eric?
A little bit, but I'm in a keeper league, and I have my roster in place to where I don't really need Plaxico Burress to have an efficient starting lineup. But like I said, I'm in a keeper league, and he'll factor into my long-term goals of world domination.
And in our other league too, Mark, Randy Moss was traded this week, and again, though, in a keeper league, that could be a risky move too.
Oh, I know. There's always a chance, especially now coming off a bye, that they could factor in and figure in to get him the ball a little bit more. Maybe change the offense a little bit, get Castle where he can use Moss a little bit. Tennessee's wide receivers are a real touchy bunch, and you have to be real careful with them. I tell you, it's something else. They really are. They want the ball.
They are.
I think that's the perfect term for them.
They even changed their names to numbers. 529-1450 is the phone number.
They kind of changed their names and numbers.
Right.
Ocho Cinco is not even the Spanish translation for 85.
Ochenta y cinco.
Really?
Spanish, yes.
Look at you.
Hey.
The surprises all over the place, Mr. Stark.
Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
Hey, guys. Love the show. You guys do a great job.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, listen, kind of an outside-the-box question here. Kind of want to know what websites you guys use for your fantasy leagues. The two that I use are myfantasyleague.com, and that costs $60 this year. And then CBS Sportsline has always been really a good one. That costs $129. I'm just kind of curious on what you guys use, maybe it's the same, or the websites that you guys use. What features do you guys like as opposed to something like a Sportsline?
Well, I work in radio, so I'm not really paying for a whole lot of my lines. I do like CBSSportsline.com for sure. I use Fox and Yahoo.
I use Fox a lot, too.
And ESPN. I really like just close to game time, clicking on and, letting them know whatever they can tell me that they know.
I'm a huge MyFantasyLeague.com fan. I'm in 4 different leagues this year that uses MyFantasyLeague, and they're really good. I mean, scoring is right up to date. I mean, just up to the minute. They give you all the kind of information you need to know. They are a little bit pricey, but they're really good. Now, one site that a lot of people don't use, but it's not bad, is rtsports.com. You can run your league through them, and they do a good job also. They're real user-friendly. Not a lot of bells and whistles, but they're real user-friendly.
I'm a big fan personally of foxsports.com, like Adam said. And there's a little-known site that I don't know that anyone else besides me and a couple other guys in my circle even know about, a site called fftoday.com. It's crazy. But there's a lot of information there, and it's free. You can access a lot of free information there, and they have really good rankings. And I just spilled one of my secrets.
There it is.
So the ones was fstoday.com, and what was the other one? RT something?
rtsports.com. You can run your league through there. They don't do a lot of projection, but you can run a league through there, and it's a real user-friendly league site. I mean, so I think that would be another option too. They're not quite as expensive as some of the others.
And caller,
the other one is FF as in Frank,
as in fantasy football. It may be easier way to remember. Yeah.
There you go. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And no problem. 529-1450 is the phone number. And I also wanted to ask you, too, Mark, we do have another caller, but IDP, let's get to that after the phone call here. 529-1450 is the phone number. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101. Oh, no.